No, wait, come back out.
I was about to go live with you setting stuff up.
Wait, what?
I thought it would have been funny to see people to see you setting stuff up, but you were too fast.
Wait, are we actually live?
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
We're
okay.
live. Yes.
All right, yeah.
Yes.
Because I was doing a big old joke of like, oh, I'm not ready yet, but
I know.
I thought I actually fooled you this time. But
Yeah.
I guess not. Damn,
Nope.
guys, we'll get them one day.
One day. But for now, we're back once again. We had a little brief hiatus, but we were back last week. And now we're back again. So getting back on the FastTrack Feedback Fridays train. We've got a little bit of a queue, a short one right now, which means if you make music and you want feedback on it, looks like somebody else might have just joined. So welcome. Feel free to hit us up in the chat, say what's up. And that's the link to our forum. So if you got something you're working on or something you've worked on in the past, you just want detailed feedback on, we're the place. So send it through that form and we will review your music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you can send us a tip there, but it's free by default. We've got a free queue that's open right now, so you shouldn't have any issues getting into that if you submit now or soon. Anything you want to add, Chris?
No, does my audio sound weird to you? Because your audio sounds weird to me.
Oh,
And
yours
people in the
sounds
chat.
normal.
Okay, yeah, people in the chat, let us know if there's anybody there. Might not be.
Mine sounds weird. Oh, maybe it's because of our thing.
Okay.
Does it sound normal to you now?
Mm,
Check. 1, 2, 3.
it just sounds kind of warbly for some reason, but it might just be on my end. I'm not sure.
Strange.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, let us know. Wait a minute. What is this? Uh-oh, a
Get
bot.
the fuck out of here, bot.
All right. How do we do this? Do you know how to mod?
No, thank you. Dogehype.com. Good one.
Dogehype.com? Fuck
Is
yeah.
this a real bot?
Yeah, it's kind of a
Who's that gonna work on?
a joke almost. Yeah.
That's funny.
How do you do it? Can you clear chat? Let me see. How do you do
I
it?
don't know. It's harmless.
Okay. All right, I'll pin it. But anyways, yeah, so I mean, we have Jokerhead first, but the link doesn't seem to work. Interestingly enough. And
Well,
I think
he sent 2, so
yeah, I think he eluded that. And the other submission is actually our band. So I'm gonna text my band to say, well, actually, I told them that they'll be here, but let me see. Hey, everybody, listening to High Tide now. So yeah, I'm just gonna text them. So, I guess we'll just do that first if you're okay with that.
well, should we do Joker heads first though? Because he's in the queue first.
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah, I guess we could do that.
And I mean, it gives. I thought you were gonna say you'd give them a little bit of time to see that and then get on. It'll be in like 15.
That's what I was thinking at first, but yeah, let's do that.
But
Let's do
because Jokerhead was in the queue last week too, and I think he deleted his track, but he's in here a couple times.
All right, let's do Jokerhead. So while the band guys decide to come over here, we'll do Jokerhead.
Exactly.
Let's see.
Stakeout. Oh, haven't we heard? We've heard Stakeout, but maybe it's a different version. Sia Acapella. Don't know what that means. Is it like Sia? Oh, it is. It says messing around with a Sia vocal and Stakeout.
Stakeout. Okay, let's see. So, work in progress. Hey guys, don't know what happened with that other link, but I will get that over to you next time. In the meantime, I'm trying to update Stakeout with some vocals as an experiment. Any advice on getting the vocal to sit in the mix properly? And also how to make the track more dynamic. Towards the end, should I remove the melodies or the vocal? Also, any advice in general? Cheers. Okay. So any advice getting the vocal to sit in the mix properly. Also, how to make the track more dynamic. Towards the end, should I remove the melodies and or vocal? Okay. So this might be a Stakeout. Sia Acapella. So we added Sia?
Yeah.
Yeah, and this song does not look dynamic at all from the get-go.
Interesting.
Yeah, you see this waveform here.
I'm gonna get armed on the volume knob here.
Yeah, just in case. But yeah, do you might as well want to do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Stakeout. Sia Acapella Jokerhead. 3, 2, 1. wee, zowie mama. Um, that mix was loud as fuck. I
Yeah, oh my
I don't know
god.
how many times I had to turn down. It was
I had to
interesting.
turn down a lot, yeah.
Dude,
Uh,
my ears, like, they're listening to it for a while. That's like, "Okay, it's too loud." And then I would turn it down, and then my ears would, like, regulate and then be like, "No, it's still too loud." And I did
yeah.
that, like, 2 or 3 times, which is crazy.
So that's that whole concept of, like, fatiguing audio, basically, like, if it's not dynamic enough, it's really a lot harder for your ears to do the work to try to
Mm,
discern what is happening because
mhm,
your ears are always trying to figure out what am I hearing, and if the noise doesn't have any like sort of real volume dynamics to it, but it's all like spectral illusion of dynamics or whatever you'd call it, which is like what happens when you use too much compression, then your ears are just going to get really tired really quickly. So yeah, it
mhm,
was a very fatiguing mix to listen to because we've heard this like 2 times now, I think, and it hasn't been this compressed previously, and we were like, "Yeah, Joker head, like, finally, you're not over compressing stuff as much as you used to."
yep.
It's not like it sounds blown out of proportion like some of that stuff in the past has, where it's, um, like, oversaturated.
And to go pink, thanks for the follow, sorry.
Hey, let's go. But, yeah, it is weird. Um Sorry, I was just reading
They
the
say hi.
chat about all that stuff. He said
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Locrian mode. I don't know if that was Locrian, but it was, because I don't think it was a mode. I think it was just 2 different keys. It was,
Josh
polytonal
Dot, go
or
away. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks for following. It's
Sweet.
chromatic. It was chromatic mode for sure.
Yes, and Indigo Pink, yeah, please send your song in, the link is in the chat right there, and we've got space in the queue right now.
Yeet.
So, man, yeah, that was just definitely very loud mix, like, just ear fatiguing, too compressed. I don't know why you feel the need to do that. Uh, it's maybe just like a sort of gut reaction that when you start compressing, it gets louder, and then it's like your brain says, "Yes, loudness." But it's we've talked about it so many times. You have to level match changes that you make as much as possible, so you can really decide: does this sound better, or is it just getting louder?
Mhm, mhm.
So that's obviously a big one. And then, yeah, the Sia vocal, like I guess you said you're just messing around and maybe trying to get it to fit into the mix. Uh, Obviously, the number one change would be to pitch it into the key, or at least somewhat. You pretty much just do need to pitch it into the key, and then like maybe there will be some cool like seventh notes that she sings in her part or something. But you can't like you probably won't get away with putting it in a wrong key and having it sound good. Um,
Mhm.
that's just going to be hard to do with a pre-made vocal part.
Yeah, I
But
think he did that because, the last time we reviewed the track, it was like, okay, it's just missing some main melodic
Hmm.
component, like a vocal would, to, like, carry us through the
Oh,
whole song.
no, yeah.
So, yeah, but you have to
But
make sure that main melodic component fits with the, melodic content of the rest of the song,
well,
so
yeah, and I sort of think that when we reviewed it, we were not necessarily. I wasn't necessarily referring to, like, a literal vocal, like, it doesn't have to be an actual voice, right? It could be, like, some sort of lead synth or instrument that provides that sort of centerpiece to the
Mhm,
song, like, melodically, but I would for this kind of thing, when you have the whole song built already, I would not recommend finding a pre-made, like, vocal line like this and just plopping it on there because it's really super conflicting with what you already have, like,
yeah,
they don't sound related at all.
mhm,
Even if they're in the same key, I think it's debatable. There could be some cool moments where it kind of shines, but I just think you need a strong synth part as that lead, and probably not like a lifted Sia vocal.
right, yeah. I mean, I couldn't really pay attention too much to how the vocals were sitting, like, mix-wise. It was more so just way too distracting that the pitch was everywhere, and
Oh my god,
like,
yeah.
if you're asking, like, "How do I get the vocals to sit in the mix better?" It's like, first step is to have them in the right key,
Yeah,
right?
and
So
yeah, and you've already got some dissonance that we talked about in the sort of quasi lead synth part or whatever that's happening. You can hear it in a couple points here, and
mhm,
it's not terrible. Like those, some of them are kind of interesting. I think you really need to like lean into those moments instead of just them blending in with the rest of the melody. Like there needs to be something to highlight that this note is supposed to be wrong because there are a couple of those where it's like technically not in the key and it's sort of dissonant and it's like weird but somewhat interesting.
mhm,
um those are difficult to justify. Like you potentially could justify them because they're not the most dissonant they could possibly be relative to the key, but they're not necessarily correct. So I
Mhm.
would that's the main thing I think, our main takeaway as of now. Anything else for vibes that you've got?
Mm, yeah, I don't know. I appreciate the the changes made from the last mix, but yeah, I think maybe going back to that previous mix and just doing like a subtle like synth lead, or if you get in key vocals. And I don't know what happened with the mastering, but yeah, this was like brick walled, so you could see it in the waveform too. Just don't push the limiter
Ozone?
that much, man. Yeah, maybe it was ozone. I don't know, but yeah. So um, overall, in this version, um, yeah, I would say just scrap the vocals and try to redo that stuff. The vibes, I would say it's like maybe like 10% between green and yellow. I think there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this. Um, I could even maybe go more into the redo space just because of that vocal. Like, yeah, I don't think there's any way you could release that right now, but I think you're working on it. So, yeah, what do you got?
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. I'm sort of basing part of my perception on the previous version, which I do actually kind of like, and I think like the album
Yeah, I
art is
do like the
cool.
previous version too. Yeah.
Yeah, the album art's cool. It goes well with that. I think you're like creating a cool aesthetic for
Mhm.
yourself, and like an artist image. But yeah, that it does subtract some points, just like the really super brick walled mastering that's hard to listen to, especially for 4.5 minutes.
Mhm.
And that vocal, it subtracts points. So I'll just agree and say 10% between develop and good to go.
Cool content.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's like I think the melodic part was the part of the content we were looking for last time, and like you sort of addressed it, but it's not any better than it was before. Like
It made it worse.
the lack of it before was a little bit better than this part, I
Yeah.
think. Um, so that's a problem. I don't think the length is an issue. It was just hard because it was so tough to listen to, and for for the mastering reason and the that other reason, the pitch reasons. But um, otherwise, like there's some cool stuff going on. Like I think if you strip away that nonsense, like you've got a pretty simple, nice structure and vibe that you've created.
Yeah.
Some good sounds in there. Like again, big strides for you from what we've seen in the past. So
Mhm.
yeah, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I think that baseline beat that we listened to last time and what's going on underneath now is very nice, very solid. It just needs that mainline melody and you swung and you struck out, so you're gonna have to just try again next at bat.
That's what
Um,
we do.
in terms of like actionable advice, if you don't somebody into music theory, someone that's into music theory, you could just like Google this stuff. Like this acapella, like what what key am I in? And then you look at the notes that you put in or the loops that you got. I'm not sure how you made the melody because it seems like it's mostly in key. And then be like, okay, is this in the right key? That's like step one. And then like the phrasing, it seemed like like if it's 4 bar measure to 4 bar measure, it just seemed like it was also off. So like everything from like I don't even know what that's called, signature, time signature, maybe to
Mhm.
I don't even know if the tempo was correctly. Maybe it was correct
Yeah,
tempo. The pitch was off. Like the first thing you're gonna do if you're gonna put samples together is you gotta match those up. So
yeah,
um but yeah, so that's like the actionable advice. Content. I think I'll just put at this version, I would say I mean it's pretty much yellow, so 10% between green and yellow. Because I do like the underneath, but yeah, like you gotta get that vocal out and back to the drawing board.
yeah. No, I was. That's what I was gonna say too. Same score because it's like
Yeah.
underneath there's good stuff, but it's been graffitied a little bit.
Oh
So
yeah.
clean
Yeah.
that up and try again.
Yeah. Yeah, Sia, what the fuck you were thinking, Sia? Anyways, production, what do you got?
See acapella, funny. Um, yeah, for production, I don't know, man. Like it was simpler, I think, last time, and ultimately better. I think there were a couple small notes we had. I can't remember for this. Like smaller things would be that reverb on the snare and a couple other elements just kind of stood out a little bit as being like too different or too much more wide and spacious than the other parts were, and it was just like a little bit amateurish to go overboard
Mhm.
that much with the reverb, but not a huge deal. Again, mastering is the main thing. It just doesn't need to be brick walled like that. It's a lot better if it's not. Common misconception there, but yeah. Do you anything else for production?
Um, yeah, I think just in general, the mix sounded very high end heavy.
Yeah.
very tinny, and especially when those white noise
The
sweeps
yeah.
came in.
Yeah.
Oh man, like that contributed to when I had to turn it down. It just started
Mhm.
to hurt.
Yeah, that
So
reverb that was super loud, I think, had a lot of high frequency content to it too, and it was
mhm.
kinda painful.
Yeah, yeah, tone it back, tone it back.
More is less. I mean, less
More
is
is
more.
more is less.
Wait,
That's
it's
correct.
both. Yeah, more is less sometimes.
Leave it in. Production. I'm at like hmm, maybe like 20% between green and yellow. What
Yeah,
about
I
you?
think I'm actually inclined to say, like, 30% just because I know that underneath this, there's some good stuff that we saw previously. I think it's been dragged down a little bit, but, like, if you sort of revert to that version, I think you're a lot closer on production.
Right. Yeah, I think so too. Um, yeah, I just think yeah, he said it. If you go back, like that version, I think was better.
Yeah.
So yeah, track total 15 between yellow and green. What about you? Holy shit, that rhymed. 15 between yellow and green. Feel me?
We figured that out, I think, at some point,
Oops.
last week or something. But yeah,
Bars.
that your track total 15. Yeah, I can agree with that. There's some good stuff, like, again, structure-wise, content-wise, but, some changes. Just go back to the previous one and, like, try again.
Yep.
Like, just try adding something melodic. It doesn't have to be a vocal sample, but it can be. See what happens if you take the vocal sample, pitch it into key. There's plenty of tools you can use to help you with that if you need it,
Yeah.
and, go from there.
Yeah. And think subtly. That don't have to do something crazy. You know.
Yes, I think that's a big theme is, you'd be surprised how much you can do with just a little bit of modification.
Yep, yep. Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Jokerhead. Appreciate it. Friend of the stream.
Dope.
One of the most submitted people in our community here.
Ever.
We got Chespro back as well, by the way. He
Yeah,
submitted too.
hey, let's go, welcome
Another
back,
another friend of the stream here. And
and,
Indigo, we got your submission as well.
yes.
It
Wait a
says
second,
what?
is Endigo the one that has a bunch of followers?
I don't know, but they say the song title's Metaverse. So are you in any way related to Chespro at all?
Are you the real Endigo, or are you faking it?
Who's Indigo?
I think we had Endigo previously, we had you previously, but I thought you were under a different username, maybe not. Um, you sent us something, I think.
Oh.
Do you remember this?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. YouTuber with what is it? 650,000 subscribers apparently.
Yes.
That's right. Are you the real one? Let's see. Cuz we've gotten another Indigo before, but this is your first time following us. It's interesting. But anyways, in the queue we got Moonside. Shout out Moonside. Josh is here, the producer, and I think the others might be in the chat too. We'll see.
Oh, sick.
Um Chess Bro, Indigo, Miata, but this track is what? Jess is also submitting a different song by Joe Groot. Work in progress. Okay, cool.
Oh, I
I
know
am.
Joe, I think.
You know Joe Groot?
Yeah.
Crazy.
He was a host. He hosted one of the Punchlines virtual events. It was like a game show thing. I can't remember which one it was, but it was like a game show thing, and he was like he acted all host like. It was fun.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, yeah. Jess made his or produced his EP.
Oh shit! I didn't even
Right.
realize he had an EP. That's sick.
Damn, Jess, you got to work on the promo game, bro. You and Joe. But okay, yeah. So that's the queue right now. As we always say, the song that's next in the queue is, our bands. So I mean, I have preference to go right now, but we offer a tipping system to skip the queue. So if you guys want to tip it, it's there. Um, if not, we can go to that song because we got the band waiting.
Let's do
So,
it.
but anyways, Moonside, Moonside soldiers, tap in. Moonside pilots, tap in. Let us know. They have been eagerly awaiting Josh's feedback here. Before we start it, okay, this is Master 4. Jess, this is the version that we should be listening to. Is this correct? Is there no. Bro, you weren't following me when I
Oh,
posted
I
about it.
wasn't. Oh shit!
Damn.
All right, send your handle.
You need that reach, bro. You need that reach. You need
Wait, am
the
I following
sponsor
you
push.
now? What's your Instagram?
Yeah, unless he's saying that to me, which I don't know. But
Well, we'll both follow you.
yeah, I should be following you already, Jess. We'll see. But yeah. So let's see if there's anything here. I said at the final mix and mastering stage, everyone the one
Let's
opinion.
see if the person who submitted it left any notes.
Right, I can't remember what I fucking ate breakfast today.
Yeah.
But anyways, actually I got oatmeal. You ready?
Yep. Let's do it, Oatmeal Man.
I am not ready. Hold on. Fuck. All right. Moonside. Shit. Three, two, one. Oh,
I could get the more for you, baby, and bring it in real close. Make the water more, baby, waving. Hey, say goodbye to our toes.
Beautiful
Witness,
guitar part.
high tide, Muay Thai, baby,
wow.
let's kick it. Witness, sentiment, forget about the distance. Sitting under same skies, yeah. To the stars, we're side by side, yeah. Or zoom out and get the bigger picture. I can see the perfect future, I'll be with you. So, baby, stay strong, yeah. You'll be in my arms, yeah. A little past the time and it won't be long. If this the love of our lives, baby, I can see it in your eyes. The lights in the sky shining bright, they on the side. Like the morn for you, baby, and bring it in real close. Make the water more, baby, waving. Hey, say goodbye to our toes. Witness, high tide, Muay Thai, baby, let's kick it. Witness, sentiment, forget about the distance. Sitting under same skies, yeah. To the stars, we're side by side, yeah, yeah. Like a shooting star, how I fall, burning bright when you hit me for a call. We could talk, or say nothing at all. I get hot, drop the top, we ain't riding in the car. You're the only one that I love this much. I love your touch, your moisturizer, come in clutch. It's love, not lust. You're beautiful, you're in it outside. When we get together, stars align. Baby, feels so right, like the morn for you, baby. I'll bring it in real close. Make the water move, baby, wave it. Hey, say goodbye to our toes. Witness, high tide, Muay Thai, baby, let's kick it. Witness, intimate, forget about the distance. Sitting under same skies, yeah. To the stars, side by side. So tell me, baby, do you feel it now? Say goodbye to the stars, past the clouds, to my arms, want you to stay. Hey, shadows of the sky, to the waves of the sea, the currents sing for us tonight. Tonight, we're far away. Don't want you to worry, it's okay, babe. I am yours and you are mine, and the heavens are divine. Let me try to set the signs like the more for you, baby. And bring it in real close. Make the water more, baby, wave it. Hey, say goodbye to our toes. With this high tide, Muay Thai, baby, let's kick it. Witness, intimate, forget about the distance. Sitting under the same skies, yeah. To the stars, we're side by side. Well, we'll see how that goes.
Oh, let's see how that goes.
Holy shit. Dude, that's sick. That's such a
Yeah.
vibe.
Thanks, bro.
I
Thank
love
you,
it.
thank
That's
you. Shout
awesome.
out Joss. Man, there's so much happening in the mix, dude. Like just listening to it.
Yeah,
But
that's so cool.
whoo wee. But yeah, this is the feedback here that we've been waiting for. So let her rip,
Yeah, and
Josh Rooney.
shit.
This is full disclosure, my song, so I can only give brief. What is this? Oatmeal one. Da Juno. Yo, Chris, did you sing that? Who's this guy? Who's Dem? What's up? Yes, I did.
Dim?
Dem
Yes.
nut. No, I'm just kidding.
Mm.
Dem titty. All right. Anyways.
Yep, yeah, there it is.
Okay. But
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, props to everybody. Fuck, yeah, just the playing on this is awesome. It sounds very live. Well, also this gives me like some a little bit of Silk Sonic vibes, like
Yes.
some of that sort of 70s appeal, like a lot of those kind of breaks and fills where it kind
Mm,
of and that sort of magic.
mm.
Um what was that part? There's one part that there's a little like run of notes that sort of is just standalone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That comes in and it's sort of on the side and there's some reverb around it.
Dude, yeah. I mean, the drummer and the keyboardist love fucking Silk Sonic. So I'm sure
Yeah,
that
yeah,
they're
yeah.
putting that shit in
I could
there.
hear that, especially with
For
both of them.
sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
definitely.
Yeah.
I think that little moment there. It felt very Silk Sonic, which I liked, where it's like these kind of ornaments that are placed like really strategically, and they kind of shine. They're like this little glimmer, these little
Mhm.
golden bits.
Mhm.
I wish that there was a little bit more space around that
Mhm.
to let the reverb tail sort of breathe more, so you could really feel that sort of sparkle and like unexpectedness of that, rather than it being a little bit obscured by the sort of surrounding like frequency space.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it would be. Like, there's probably some instrument that doesn't need that area, that it can be just scooped out of a little bit, and your whole mix might end up just feeling a little bit cleaner and a little bit more airy then too.
Yep.
I think there's no like super obvious or like horrible signs of this, but you probably could cut some stuff a little bit. I don't know what the drum signals look like, or maybe the keys or something, but I feel like there's room to cut frequencies on stuff and just make it sound a little more open, a little bit cleaner, a little bit, and breathe a little bit more.
Yep.
But overall, like, again, I think the drums and the bass sound very like live yet recorded well.
Mhm.
There's it's not like there's a bunch of room noise, but they sound very real, which is
Mhm.
cool. And it gives that sort of like feel like you're at a concert or something. Like, I don't know, it just feels like there's real musicians playing it, which there
Mhm.
are, and that's great.
Yeah, we
Um,
recorded it in his living room.
really,
Yeah.
that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And then I think like overall, I mean, first of all, the song itself, the writing, all of that stuff is like sick. It's great. It's just the structure is totally there.
Mhm.
The length is totally there. It keeps you, going along, pulls you along the whole time, keeps you interested.
Mhm.
Um, and just has a lot of surprises and smiles to offer. So that's great. All that, I'm happy with all that stuff, the content and everything.
Hey,
Um,
yo.
and the musicianship and the delivery, all that stuff, I think is great too. The only like other, I guess, mix thing I can
Mhm.
think of, it feels a little bit on the brighter side,
Mhm.
where there's sort of a bump in the high mids, and a little bit of a hole, or maybe just imbalance, where there's feels like a little bit more could be added to the sort of lower mids.
Mhm.
Not the low mids necessarily. I think the bass guitar is doing a good job of filling that out. But the keys, I was noticing, are hiding behind the guitar, and vice versa. They're in like, it sounds like exactly the same frequency range, mostly the in that upper mids area ish also. And then like in the highs, there's a lot coming from your vocal.
Mhm.
And again, I'm not sure yet if you balance out those frequency issues and you also get a little bit more um, body in the mids and the low mids from, like, say maybe the keyboard or something like that, or you just
Mhm.
let the guitar and the keys have their own space and not be duplicating parts, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Then, and it could be either. It could You might be able to solve it with just EQ or something, or if the keys part is it MIDI or was it recorded directly from a keyboard?
It's recorded directly.
Okay. Um, but either way, just trying to carve that stuff out a little bit. It probably can be mostly EQ.
Mhm.
That would help potentially with feeling like the vocal isn't too high mid forward, and or maybe taming that a little bit, because there's a little bit of a frequency in there. I'm not sure exactly where it is. It's probably in that range where our ears are more sensitive, which is like, was that
Mhm.
7K or something? Between
Mhm.
3 and 7K, something like that.
Mhm.
Which could probably be brought down a little bit just to make your vocal a little bit more mellow sounding, like
Mhm.
tone wise.
Yeah. Do you think, so you're saying that EQ scoop could be applied to the vocal? Because I was also wondering
Maybe
if it could be the reduced in level. I don't
that
know
it
if
could
it
be
sounded
what?
reduced in level. Like,
Oh, yes. So that was the other suggestion, is you might be able to solve it by just reducing the level of the vocal a teeny bit.
mhm.
Because it's good that it's very clear, and it's like, with like a pop mix or whatever, you want it to be right up front. So we really like it's front and center.
Mhm.
Um, but again, with that imbalance, it's hard to tell. Like, if you could maybe bring that down a little bit, but if you want to retain the clarity, you could maybe just bring down the level of the vocal itself down a little, and it will sit with the rest of the instruments better, and they'll all sort of feel like they're,
Mhm.
at the same hierarchy or whatever, or more matched.
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, but yeah, overall, I mean, oh, and then the other only thing with like vocal production is the second vocal. Who was the second vocal?
Clint.
Oh, dope. Okay, that's what I was thinking actually.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But there's a little bit of I don't know if it's a recording difference or just like how far either of you were away from the mic. Did you record in the same place with the same stuff or
Yes.
okay? Then it's probably just your natural like vocal tone or again how close you were. But his does not sound as bright as yours. I
Hmm.
think it sounds fine. I think it sounds like smooth and whatever. It's just that difference when we go from yours to his is sort of a little bit obvious.
Yep.
And again, that could just be a reason to like mellow out some of that high mid, the part that can be just a teeny bit, not like piercing, but like a little bit sensitive or whatever.
Hmm.
To mellow that out and might also bring it into the mix a little bit better. It might also help the mix not feel slightly top heavy, and it might, uh, sort of equate the two vocal tones just a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that stuff is mostly just like mixing, and it's sort of I, maybe it's just a product of like the listing system or something. Like again, we always say this, but it's probably useful just to like mix on somebody's speakers and then like listen on somebody else's and like compare reference tracks. I'm sure you guys do that stuff,
Hmm.
but
Oh, we're
um,
learning. We're
yeah,
learning.
yeah, but and on like headphones or just comparing and noting and being really brutally honest. If you listen on a different system and you're like, okay, this sounds a little bit bright, like make a note of that. And because it's so hard if you've like worked however many hours on one speaker system and you're like, it sounds perfect. And then you go to another one, and you're like, ah, shit, I don't want to do more work.
Sounds like balls. Yep.
Yeah, which isn't the case, but it's just that can happen too. And you always have to be prepared. But yeah, I mean, overall, I definitely will be adding this to my
Hey, yo.
library.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, and it's just really small mixing stuff. I don't think any like re-recording is necessary at all. The performances are great. The writing is great. That's the core important part. If you don't have that, you can't build up, but you do, so you
Mhm.
can build up, which is
All
great.
right.
So
This always feels so weird when there's a song that I'm in that that you're reviewing. It's like
yeah,
I'm like, what else do you say, Josh?
yeah.
What else do you think?
uh,
What do you think about the vocalist? But yeah,
you
we
shoot
appreciate
me,
it.
I fire you.
Uh, Let's do it, bro. Can you fire me if you're dead? Let's
Good
go.
question. Let's find out.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks
um,
for the compliment on the synths. Oh, that's Diego. All right, so Diego's
there
there.
we go.
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So,
So
do I
yeah,
just
there's
give scores then?
yeah. You could give scores. Go for it.
Okay, so I think vibes is fucking great. Probably the only thing that could detract it all is just the mix balance, but it's very slight. I'm gonna say 95% for vibes.
All right.
Yeah, it's like it's a great song for sure. Um, for content, content. Yeah, 100%. It's like
Woo, content. He's content with
yeah,
the content. All right.
very content with the content. Yeah, just the writing's great, the playing is great, the execution's great. I think the recording is great. It works. It's cool. So
All
yeah,
right.
good on that. And then production is just a fail. No, I'm kidding.
Tell him.
No. For production, let me think about this. It's really slight things. It's nothing that's like crazy, like out of whack. It's nothing that's like you have to go back to the drawing board. Um, it's just subtle tweaks that I think could make this like really just a smooth mix that matches the musical elements. I think I would say for production, this is probably at like an 85% between yellow and green.
All right.
That's where I'd say it is. It's like, yeah, it's I'd say it's very close overall. It's really just a matter of like making sure it's not too bright. You want to make sure that this sounds nice and smooth and like polished for the genre I think that it is. Um, oh, and one other thing, there were some points that I was losing the kick a little bit, and I have to go back and listen to the final version of the other track that you guys sent before. But I remember I was losing the kick on that a little bit too.
Mhm.
And I don't know if it's something about the way that the bass is being mixed with it, the bass guitar, um,
Oh.
because it could just be that there's like a tone setting that's being used that conflicts with the bass drum that's being used. And like a lot of, I mean, like pro recording studios and bands will like literally switch out kick drums if there's like clashing frequencies with the bass tone or vice versa. So if they happen to be clashing by default, it might just mean their resonant frequencies are too close. And you can either do some extra side chaining. That's probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
Or the second easiest way is probably adjusting the bass tone a little bit. I do think the bass tone is nice. I like it. It sounds sort of live, like it sort of reminds me of a live bass tone. There might be some opportunity to bring uh bring some of the bass tone body actually into that lower mid range that I was talking about, where it feels like a little bit's missing.
Mhm.
It might just make it feel more like all encompassing, like, and more like round and warm. Like that's what I really like in like a fully produced, like recorded song, is bass that feels like it fills the low end.
Mhm.
And I feel like a live bass feels more like it's a low melodic support
Mhm.
almost that works with the kick to be punchy. And they're sort of like two different things almost, but I think it sounds good for what it is, and that's just maybe a tip to help the kick shine through a little bit more.
Got it.
Um, so yeah, that's what I've got.
We love it. We love it. We
And
appreciate
then
it.
track total. Do we have anything lower than redo?
Yeah, it's black.
Yeah, it's just
No color.
darkness. The
Yeah.
ether,
Yeah. Darkness. Just
nothingness.
oblivion. Put it
Yeah.
in oblivion.
No, I
Oh
think
yeah.
I would say for track total, I think I would say 92.
All right.
Yeah.
Not 96.9?
FM?
Yeah,
Oh,
96.9
you
FM.
mean like because there's a 69 in there, right?
Yes, sir. With a repeating 6.9.
Yes, with the repeating. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, no, this is sick. Thanks for sharing. Glad people get to hear it, and glad people get to hear this kind of thing in progress, so they can sort of, benchmark against their own stuff and know that anything's possible.
All right. That's right. You heard of the man, Josh. Not Josh. Jess. Back to the drawing board. Scrap it. We're starting. No, I'm just kidding.
Start over.
Start over. We did
Pick
not
a
get
different
that.
instrument.
Yeah. But Diego, thanks for the feedback, guys. Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for sending it in, and best of luck to you guys. It's
Cool. Thank
popping
you very
off.
much.
And they've got a new release that's out now on streaming
Thank you.
platforms. Go check
Thank
it
you.
out.
Thank you. Eat
How can they
gay.
find
Check it
you?
out. Moonside, baby. Moonside. Let's see. Moonside on Spotify. Moonside. Uh, forget it. I forget it.
You
Shit.
forgot. Oh,
This is
shit.
oh, that's the one on IG. All right. Anyways, to
Nice.
all 6 people watching, this is gonna be crazy. But
Dope as
anyways,
fuck.
yeah, we appreciate it. Um,
Cool.
See, guys, even people like us, we want Josh's feedback. We understand. It's like this guy knows what he's doing. So, looks like Just There knows what he's doing too. Apparently, we got a
Oh,
donation. Could you
oh, really?
double check that real quick? Yeah.
Yeah, let me check.
I don't know how Indigo caught it and I didn't. Maybe it flashed on the screen and I just wasn't looking at it.
Could be.
But we'll see. But yeah, like I said in the chat, we have Just There if they indeed donated, which it seems like they did. We're checking that right now.
Yes, they did.
Chess Bro, Fire, Indigo, and then Miata. And we typically do um, songs until 7:30, so an hour to get through 4. That sounds about right. Yeah, I think you should be
Yeah,
able to get through all
hopefully,
of
yeah.
them. So if you're watching right now and you want to submit your song, if you skip the queue, you could probably, or you'll definitely, be able to secure your spot. But
Yeah, and while we're here in this interlude, people are here. We have a sort of market question that we're curious. Okay, so
oh
there's
shit.
that too, but that's fine. That's fine. It doesn't tell a whole lot if you don't know about it already. It doesn't really matter if you know about it. This is
Yeah.
just a question, irrespective of what we've been working on. If you want, we are building stuff, right? We're building a platform essentially to help you get feedback on your music like we do here, but you can go on there anytime and get useful feedback. So if you want to go there, you can sign up, and you'll get onto the wait list, and then we'll let you know when you're off the wait list, and you can become one of our first users of the platform. So feel free to do that. It's fasttrack.studio. But the question that we wanted to ask, just more generally, is like, we asked it in our Discord too, so maybe we can share the Discord link. If people want to vote officially, it's in our announcements channel. It's basically like, if you had like $20 to spend, some arbitrary amount, would you rather spend it on feedback from like one professional, somebody who has like experience in the music industry, but you just get detailed feedback from them, and that could be in like a specific area like songwriting or mixing or whatever it is, or across your whole track more broadly? Or would you rather spend that same amount to get feedback that's more broad, like what we do here, where it's vibes content production, but for from like a pool of artists. So you'd get like multiple opinions. They might not be like professionals, but you'd have sort of a broader set. So that's the question. Like, which would you prefer? Which would you go to? Which would you rather spend $20 on, or whatever it is?
Mhm.
So let us know in the chat what you think,
Ye-
and we can discuss it too. So you have like ideas. Then, yeah, Just Dare said multiple. Okay, good to know.
Interesting.
If anybody else has opinions, if you want to counter that or you agree, send it in the chat. Multiple or single, or we could say whatever. Professional or artists,
Yep.
however you want to phrase it.
Yeah, I have my own answers, but I don't want to taint
Yes,
the
no, we
poll
don't want to
here.
do that.
We also have the poll up on the Instagram story if you guys want to vote there and see the results as well. It's interesting.
Interesting. Okay, so then Joss said specialized pro. So yeah, there's some debate here. Feel free to continue the debate and or go into Discord and you can vote there and discuss as well. But
Mhm.
yeah, this is good to know. Thanks, guys.
All right, we appreciate it. So weigh in, weigh in. But the next
Yes.
person on the queue in the meantime, we'll put some music on, is Just There. Thank you for the donation, by the way, Just There. It seems like it's pretty late over there, so we'll go ahead and get into the music. It's a work in progress. It's called Bad Girl. First time trying UKG. What is UKG?
UKG. Sounds like a drug.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but it's okay. I thought it was on Spotify for a second. UKG. I don't know.
UK Garage. Okay. Got it.
Oh, fire! I fucking love UK Garage. I
That makes
think.
sense.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Just There. Bad Girl. 3, 2, 1.
Piano. Cool album art too.
Yeah.
You're just like the bad girl, it makes she's the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just
Nice.
the mad girl, laying on your chest.
Interesting dissonance
Let her
happening.
go out with it, go up and down with it. You're just like the bad girl, it makes she's the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just the mad girl, laying on your chest. Let her go out with it, go up and down with it.
I want some more low.
I get addicted to the wrong things. You come along searching for one thing. One hit of you and then I'm out
I love
here
that song.
feeling alive. I'm out here feeling alive. You're just like the bad girl, it makes you the best. Easy with the sad girl, she'll put you to the test. Now she's just a mad girl, laying on your chest. Let her go out with it, go up and down with it.
Got almost a reggaeton vibe. The drums are nice and jumpy. I love that.
Mhm.
Very kind of clear mix too.
Yeah, definitely.
Da, na,
Cool.
na, 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 na. Yeah, thank you, Just There.
Very
That was a
interesting.
awesome sound. I think that was the first UK garage song we got here on Fast Track, so we appreciate it.
Yeah, true. Damn. Man, that melody is like one of the catchiest I've heard, I feel like. It's
Da,
so
ba, na, 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 na,
yeah.
na. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
that's
really
pretty
well
good.
written.
Yeah, pretty earwormy. Is that Just There? Is that you that's singing, or is that like an artist that you recorded, or is that a sample? What's up? Diego thinks it's a bop. Yes, I agree. I think that's also a bop. Very cool. I got like a Pink Panthers kind of vibe to it. But yeah, what do you have for vibes?
Yeah, I mean again that I think like it's very catchy and it kind of draws you in. Like it's I don't remember exactly what the line was, but the content's kind of funny. Like
Mhm,
the melody is very catchy.
mhm.
It's just such like a bouncy, like exciting uh track too.
It's a
You know,
bouncy, cute, bubbly. Yeah.
yeah, I like it a lot. I can't think of much more than that for just vibes. But what do you think?
All right, Diego. Thanks for the follow. Dem titties is now following. Anyways, uh, what I for vibes? Yeah, I think it's like a bubbly, nice UK garage track. Maybe want to jump up and dance a little bit, but nice and mellow. Cute vocals. It's a splice sample apparently, and I think you fit it in really well. Um, like I said, Pink Panthers kind of vibes. I wish I could name more artists that it reminds me of, but that's all that comes to mind for now. The only thing, and I said it earlier, is like I wish I kind of wanted it a little bit in some points, in the breakdowns, especially to have a little bit more bass, a little more oomph,
Yes, I thought the
and
same
what's
thing.
happening in the low end there. But I do like the airiness of it sometimes,
Yeah.
So you know
I
when
feel
there's a
like
time
it's
to like
yeah,
chill,
there are
there's a
times
time
when
to
I really like the way that there's sort of that airiness, that sort of stop startness.
Mhm,
I feel like through the whole song though, it'd be nice if there were a couple sections like the choruses,
mhm,
especially at the end there, that had a more consistent sort of like whole note bass
mm,
going on.
sustain,
That was
yeah.
just there. That was just stay there a little bit more, and provide that low end like foundation, because it does
Mhm,
feel like when that part is not actively playing, there's like just no bass. There's like sort of missing, you know. And that's a great way to differentiate, like again, chorus from verse, or like just to have some sort of energy curve. Right? It doesn't need to be called chorus or verse. It's just like a section that provides some relief, and then a section that charges up with more energy, or more like sort of wow factor, or whatever you want to call it.
mm.
Um,
Just there's asking for that timestamp.
yeah, I don't know exactly times. I mean, it's you have to find that, right? Because it's like right now the whole time it's just the bass is kind of jumping in and out. I was thinking like the last like third here, you've kind of got what I would consider, it's like a chorus, right?
Mhm,
This part. Um, it feels like it could use a little bit of an energy boost from the previous chorus, whatever you
mhm,
call it.
mhm.
Um, that just makes it feel more complete, I guess. But there's not a specific timestamp, but it's kind of for you to figure out like when can I dr- create that energy curve, so it sort of goes up here and then stays there for a little and comes back down to that sort of start stop vibe.
Yeah.
Because that could be really exciting.
Yeah, and in terms of like the bass being stronger, I think just in general, I was kind of scraping through the whole track, and I think just in general, it seems to be like a little bit of a scoop in the bass there. Like
Yeah.
it's very kind of top heavy. So, um, but yeah, just be careful when you are doing it that you don't, you know, get rid of that jumpy light vibe that you have because I do really like that. So
Yeah. No, it's
it's
definitely
subtle.
a vibe.
Make a subtle change. But
Yes.
yeah. So overall vibes, yeah, I think this is a bop, as Dem 053 said.
Mhm.
So I think I'm at this point maybe like a 80 between green and yellow. What do you got?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say like maybe 85.
Yeah,
I like it a lot. It's cool.
yeah, I do. Content, what do you got?
Yeah, content. I think the overall structure is like good. Um, it maintains being catchy while not being too repetitive. Uh, there's just a lot of really cool shit happening musically.
Yeah.
It's not obviously not too long. It feels like nice, short, and concise.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Bars.
and I like that sample a lot. It's a great sample.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts, like I guess mixing wise with this sample, but
Mm.
for content, I like it. Aside from maybe changing that part a little bit around with the bass, most of it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I can echo a lot of the sentiments there, and I think that I really like the kind of I don't even know what to call it, like a stab kind of saw synth.
Oh
Maybe it's like
yeah,
the vim
yeah.
vim that
That's
like
great. Yeah.
I think that sound is cool, but there's like some points where I'm getting like this weird amount of dissonance to it, and
Mm,
I think it went away just as me getting used to it, perhaps, or as other things came in. But in the beginning, it was a sound timbre wise I really really love and enjoy, but there was just some weird dissonance. I don't know if there's any sort of automation that's happening on the pitch with that synth plugin that you have. So If there is, I would just say maybe tone it down a little bit. The dissonance is weird. It shouldn't sound like that. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was weird. But um, timbre wise and sound design wise, I think I like a lot of what's going on, except just more bass. That's all. Um, and I already talked about the airiness of it and the cuteness of the vocals. I think it all fits really well. I think content's pretty cool. Um, so, did you give a score?
For content,
Yeah.
I didn't yet. Hmm.
I think content is pretty good actually. I think it's like 90, 80. Yeah. I was say 90. I don't think there's. Maybe I'll dock the distance a little bit. 85
Yeah,
between green and yellow. What about you?
I was also gonna say 85 for this one.
There you go. First time someone said this, but it's interesting. I'll have a look at it. The dissonance is weird. It shouldn't have sounded like that. Is this? Did you hear it too?
I think he's saying that the comment about there being distance is weird because it shouldn't sound
Okay.
like that.
Yeah, that was. I don't know.
Uh,
Maybe I'll listen to it again.
I heard a little,
Production.
but I'm not sure exactly.
Shoot, shoot.
Yeah, production. The main thing is I could tell instantly that the vocal was this sample because
Oh wow.
it sounds just mixed differently from the rest. Like I mean, it basically just sounds like it came from potentially an already compressed sample. I'm not sure what other compression you put it through or processing, but it sounds very like the vocal sample itself is just kind of flatline compressed at this point. And it's like the rest of the mix is dynamic, so it sort of supports it, and it's like overall the mix is not too compressed, but that vocal sample feels very flat, sort of one dimensional.
Hmm.
I wonder if you could eliminate some compression from it, or like I don't usually fuck with expanders because I don't like use sample material that's super compressed already, but like something to make it a little bit more dynamic because I almost can hear like gating around it. Like it sounds like when it ticks on, it's like 0 to 100 immediately, and there's like a sort of high frequency noise aspect to it also that it could just be a product of like too much saturation or compression as a result. But the sample sounds a little artificial because of that.
Hmm.
So to make it sort of fit in a little bit better, it might actually be wise to do a little bit of a high end roll off just so we don't hear the sort of edges there. Um, and especially with that sort of gating effect, I think the high end is the main giveaway with that kind of thing, but it
Damn.
is also
You're asking, is this you? And then Josh is like, nah, this is a sample.
I'm like,
Through and
no
through.
way.
I knew this.
Yeah. That
That's
would be
crazy.
very impressive if that was you, by the way.
Yeah. What the hell? So they say the default sample is pretty compressed. Yeah. You called it. I added very minimal compression, but I can try and have even less for sure. I'm having issues with the high end. Ah, well, see, there you go. Maybe you could try some of that. He did say expander, but we'll see. Maybe it's too compressed to save it like that. I don't know. We'll see. The high end is too harsh. Hmm.
And honestly, like with the dynamics part, like that would be nice to have. I just wonder, like, if you're using compression to try to make it fit in, maybe you could throw it into a bus with other stuff, with something else that I don't know, like maybe uses EQ or uses something else to make it blend with other parts instead of adding more compression.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't think that it needs more of that, but yeah, or you could try again some EQ stuff to make it like fit into the mix a little bit better because that's the main thing I'm hearing. Like there's all these artifacts of that, so I'm hearing like a little bit of potentially gating when it comes in and out. Right, it just goes and then it's gone on each line, or just that the dynamics are a little weird. It's maybe a little bit louder. It's maybe more compressed than other stuff. But if you can bring it down and sort of match the EQ to the mix a little bit better, it might help with a lot of those things.
Mm-hmm. So I'll try stuff out. The most important thing is that you pointed it out. I know what I'm aiming for now. Fire.
Sweet.
It's
Cool.
kind of it's
Yeah,
kind of cool that you kind of nailed it though, Josh, because he was like, "Oh yeah, the high end's too harsh." This thing
yeah.
was compressed pretty well.
Yeah,
You
well,
got the golden ear.
well, no, it's good to hear that you really know your stuff just there. So this is great.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of sounds like it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, production. You got an overall score?
Yeah, I think for production, I would say 65% between yellow and green.
Hmm.
Maybe actually 70%.
That's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say 70, 75.
Yeah.
I like I said, I already kind of talked about it already, and I kind of attack it with more of like a caveman approach, but it's like, yeah, I think I love the top, the kind of bounciness vibe that you got going on, the light, but I do think there needs some low end, some thickness.
Some
So
thick.
yes, we all could use some more thick. So and listen to Josh on those finer tuned things, man. He's got a good ear for it. Overall, that puts me. I think this is a solid 80 at this stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is really cool. 80 between yellow and green.
Track tunnel.
Um, yeah. Do you have 80 as well?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's definitely like it's a really fun track. I think this is the kind of thing that a lot of people would add and want to listen to.
Oh yeah,
Um,
on repeat. Yeah, it's short enough, short, sweet.
and it just gets even stronger if you really like make sure it's got foundational low end at least at some point because that's important to most modern listeners.
Hmm, hmm.
uh, and just if you can, just like trying to sound as pro as possible. And it's like you either have to integrate your these kind of vocal samples better, or you need to make it super obvious and like a feature that it's like a sample, right? Like if you added like some sort of telephony effect or something on that sample or some weird processing to make it really clear that it's like separate from your mix. But it's like that middle zone where it's like it sounds like you're trying to maybe make it fit in as though it's just a regular vocal on the track, but we can tell that it's a sample is like the no-go zone. I think
Mm,
that's I see that in a lot of different areas. Like for a good example is when you're trying to create a telephone effect on a vocal and you don't sort of make it dramatic enough, it is not obvious that that's the effect and it just sounds like a badly mixed vocal sometimes. So it's like you
yeah.
have to choose which side you're on for a lot of these things and make it super obvious to the listener what you're trying to do.
Mhm, mhm. Doesn't have
Um,
much processing already, so even having less is going to be tough, but I'll make it work.
it might, yeah. I mean, it might just be more fitting it in, shaping it with the EQ and that kind of thing. I don't know, like compression. It'd be nice if it were a little bit less compressed, but you can probably fix some of those issues with more passive tools that don't compress it more.
Mhm, mhm. Cool. Best of luck, Just Air, and good shit.
Yeah.
That was
Thanks
a
for
bop.
sending.
Thank
Love
you
it.
for sending.
Send us
Um,
more stuff too.
yes, yes, please.
Follow us
Uh,
or
and
whatever.
thank you for the donation as well.
Yes,
But
we appreciate it.
all right, back to the queue. We got Chespro, we got Endigo, we got Miata. We got 30 minutes to do it. We
Dope.
typically take 15 minutes. As you tell, we fucking take a while. So hopefully we can get to all three, but maybe not. We'll
This
see.
is this one on TikTok? Oh my god.
Yeah, classic Chespro giving us a new
Wow.
medium.
This is the first one that we've got on TikTok, and the you may like ones are interesting.
The what? Oh, you
the,
may
the
like.
you may like on the side,
Oh, is
but
Josh getting exposed here? What's
I've
there?
never signed into TikTok on my computer. Why would I ever do that?
Oh man, I didn't get to see it. All right, well, ruin them, guys. No, I'm just kidding.
All right, this is Jasper. You want to read his description?
Yeah, Tuggy
Oh,
Spizzle Spot concept video. That's it. Work in
concept video.
progress. This
Metaverse
is
radio.
this public on TikTok, but it's a concept. Full video at Tiny Euro. Okay, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, Tuggy Spot, Chess Bro. 3, 2, 1.
What?
Well, I mean, it's just a preview of it, I guess. And we've heard the
Yeah.
song before.
Yes,
Um,
we have
I
it. Does it sound different?
I don't know. I couldn't really tell.
The vocal sounds much further back. It's weird.
They
Like the,
do.
the vocal is like not in the front,
Right.
like in the middle, and then uh those the white noisy stuff at the
Yeah.
beginning, and then those guitar chugs are like super front forward.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah. I definitely would have liked, the vocal a little bit more in front.
Yeah. They're
Um,
they're interesting sounds, like, sonically, I think they're all good. It's just, like,
yeah,
the hierarchy, the order of, you know.
yeah. And I think I freaking the little really fast, like, staccato, like, I fucking love that part. I think that part's
Yeah.
awesome.
It is cool, yeah.
Um, but yeah, he sent us a little preview, so I don't know what the plan was here or if or if you're trying to get us to look at the preview itself and be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
is this going is this what you want?" I mean,
Uh, I
there's,
was
like
trying to listen.
right. I mean, I was looking at the video too, but it's just something kind of repeating, um, with some changing scenes here and there. This little avatar guy looking angry, and then kind of looking like Meta's metaverse, kind of. So it's interesting, or like Second Life, almost. Like I don't
Yeah,
know. It's like
yeah.
very cartoony, and then you got this kind of like emo guitar punk pop but also hyper like soundtrack that's happening. So I don't know. It's interesting. Got like 1,300, 1,400 looks like likes on
Hmm,
Instagram. So there's some sort of traction behind it.
on
But
TikTok, you mean?
yeah. But
Oh, yeah.
so it looks like it's working pretty well. But
Could be
I wish you
promoted.
just yeah, I wish you just sent us the full video, Chess Bro. Like on the text here, it says Metaverse Radio full video at youtube.com/. Like, bro, just give us the full video. What the hell?
Yeah,
Uh, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know what part you want us to really kind of go into, but
concept video.
you have any vibes on this?
Yeah, I
Also,
mean,
yes, you can.
Uh,
That'd be
and yes, you can send us something. Our queue at this point, we only have about half an hour left. So if you want to be reviewed today, right now after this one, um, yeah, we just put did we put the link in there? Yeah, we
Yep.
put the link for the tip in there. $5 minimum, but you would jump right to the front of the queue. Otherwise, we do get to everybody that submits. So if not, we'll get to you next week.
Mhm.
But yeah, for this one, I mean, I do feel like the mix we gave some tips on this before, and like one of the issues was I think with the maybe the doubling of the vocals or something like that, and we made some suggestions, but again, I don't know if is this like a different mix for the video,
Right.
or
Yeah.
I can't tell. It sort
Yeah.
of
Me
felt like
neither.
that, but I'm not sure like if the
But it
actual
wasn't
track is
like
mixed differently.
yeah, to a point that you said it was kind of subtle enough that I wasn't sure if it was intentional.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
So if you are gonna do something like that, make it more drastic.
Sure,
Otherwise, it just
sure.
sounds like a badly mixed vocal. So.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, that's the main feedback. It just sounds like the vocal is pushed backwards. It's like not front and center. And also I think seeing this, it's not very clear to me what this is, right?
Mhm,
Like, okay, it's like there's a full video that you want me to watch this URL. Convince me, right? You have to convince the person who's watching this that
mhm.
they want to go watch the video. And I think this little preview here doesn't tell me anything really,
Yeah.
right? It's like I don't know what this scene is that was taken from a video game or whatever the hell it is, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why I should watch it.
Yeah.
um, I don't know how it's related to your song. That's probably the biggest thing.
Yep.
And I also don't get, maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention to the lyrics, but what does tuggy spot mean?
I don't know. It definitely sounds sus.
It just, yeah, it sort of like makes me not want to click on the video. like
Yep.
like what does that mean? So I don't know. Like I just feel like you have to think about, and maybe you have thought about it, but it's not coming through clearly. What are you trying to like give your audience, right? Like you have to describe the story, or make the story clear, because right now it just feels like, okay, you've got a song, we don't necessarily know what it's about yet, but then you've got this seemingly unrelated video game video thing that's framed in an interesting way, props for that. And then a title that we can't relate to either the song or the visual, so it just feels like a bunch of stuff that was thrown together, and now you're trying to market to us and make us click on a link. So
Mhm.
it's like, tell us what the song's about, make the video super obviously related to the song. make the title super obviously related to the song and enticing, right? Like without those things, this isn't really a promo video. It's just like a collection of a title, a video, your song, and a link, and I don't know what to do with it.
Mhm.
That's sort of the main, like, that's just as a viewer, my perception is like, what am I looking at? Like I just listened to it. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. Scroll.
Mhm.
So I don't know. What do you think?
No, I completely agree with it. Yeah. Like, why is the video very small and crooked to the sideways? Is that supposed to be like something that's on the table that you throw down or whatever? Like,
I think it makes the text for full video harder to read too, because it's sort of like at the bottom there, and it's sideways. It's intersecting with the border of the image, and I wouldn't like realize that that's a URL without really reading, and then I'm like, I can't click on that. So what do I do
mhm.
now? I'm not going to type that shit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The conversion rate of somebody typing a URL in from a video like that, a short form, quick swipe video, it's nobody's going to type it in, like
Yep.
nobody.
Yep.
So just sort of thinking about the reality of like getting it, stepping into your audience's shoes and thinking like, would I do this? That's what it's all about.
Right. And I'm trying to see. There's a way to tag sounds in TikTok, but I don't think like if you have it pushed to TikTok, you're able to like tag the sound, and they can potentially go to streaming services there. That could be
Yeah.
like the way you convert, but
Well,
that's not what was
or
done here.
yeah, or using the link in your bio, right? I honestly think with TikTok that would probably be better for you,
Yep.
because if you're saying like you can get it here, but you have to do something, like you have to find it. It's in my bio. It's one click away. They're much more likely to tap on your profile and then
Hmm.
potentially tap on the link. And the benefit is that they go to your profile and then they might start looking at your other stuff.
Hmm.
So like this, very unlikely they're gonna remember the URL or like type it into their browser. Like that's not gonna happen in a million years. Much more likely they'll actually go to your profile if you ask them to. And then you've got two benefits. They might click on the link and they might look at your other stuff. So that's just sort of a marketing tip.
Damn, this Metaverse Radio landing page is crazy too.
Really? Seriously.
Oh man, yeah. There's a lot of interesting choices here. The rocket emoji is very small for some reason, but it's blown up. But anyways,
Whoa.
did you see it?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of our overall vibes. I don't know if we can really get into everything else. This
Mhm.
it's more so just the TikTok itself, not the song.
Yeah.
If you want us to listen to the new song, send us a full link, man.
Yes. And
Um,
let us know what you want feedback on.
yeah, it's a lesson, everybody. But yeah,
Type in the comment, yeah, in the
but
description.
I did want to say too, like, um, we have listened to the song before, and I think the content is pretty cool. So everybody, do go check it out,
Totally. Yeah.
if you could find it. But yeah,
Type that tiny URL in.
cool. Should we go through the scores, or should we just like let this one go? Because I don't really know how to score it on all the other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, let's just quickly do the scores. Like we can just go through each one.
All right, vibes. I'm confused, but I do think the bass song itself is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, so maybe like 50 between green and yellow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Vibes, I'm confused. And yeah, same thing. I'm going to say 20% between yellow and green, because if
Makes
this is
sense.
about the video, like the presentation here, it's a little bit confusing.
Yeah, that's true. I could see that. Content. Um,
Um,
yeah, 30%. Uh,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think there's any like the song. Like I said, is decent. I think it's higher, but everything else kind of drags it down. That's where
Mhm.
my score. Production. I mean, what mixing or like the production of the TikTok? So yeah, I think the mixing. If it's true, the vocals should be more in front. Um, and yeah, the marketing on this I think needs work. So 25 between green and yellow. Overall, 33 between green and yellow. What about you?
Yeah. I think like content, it's I don't know if we're assessing the video or the song. I think the
Yep,
song is good. The video is a little questionable, so I'll just do whatever you said. 30% yellow and green.
something like
Um,
that.
production, I think I'm not sure why it sounds differently produced, but your vocal just needs to be front and center, and that dissonant guitar part is really cool. But I think when it's too loud, it sounds a little bit messy or almost like stressful. So maybe like bump that back a little bit, maybe you can cut a little bit EQ wise to make it not sound super messy, because you still want that like crunchiness of the dissonance and the distortion, because that's really cool. But it's almost like the part borders on sounding sloppily played, sort of. So you might just want to be careful with how that's presented. Production, I would say, is like a 65% between yellow and green. There's some good parts, but some stuff to work on. And then track total, what did you say?
That's a 33.
Yeah, sure. I think it's questionable, like, are we rating the video or the track? But I think it's about there. Like, it needs a little bit of work to get past the finish line and like get to your audience. But yeah, otherwise it's cool stuff you're doing, and great job with Metaverse Radio and all you're doing there, and best of luck to you.
Yeah, looks like there's some hype there, and
Yeah.
you got like 33 views on it. Looks like 33K. So yeah,
Crazy.
yeah. So what do we know? But cool. Thank you, Chess Bro. We appreciate it. So if you want us to listen to or see the whole video, I want to see the video. Why don't you submit that? What the hell?
Yeah.
That would have been a better promotional tool than submitting us a TikTok for other people to look at. Like,
True.
I don't know, but okay.
Definitely.
Interesting choices. We love you, Chess Bro. All right. The queue right now, it's Endigo, Miata, and Alstrom. We probably won't get to all three of you. We might just get to one. We'll see. But
Probably get to two.
Yeah,
Maybe.
probably two.
Yeah, we'll try.
Unless one song is like really long.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you want an opportunity to lock your spot in, let's say there's two left, you could tip $5 minimum, get you to the front. If not, we'll go to the next person, which is Endigo, who's been
Yes.
patiently waiting, and who has a song that is appropriately titled Metaverse.
And yeah, by the way, guys, I'm putting this in the chat, but go to Discord, join it, and there's a question in the announcements section that you can vote on. So go in there now and vote on it, please.
Do it.
It will benefit you in the
Do
long
it.
run, so do it. And you'll get to join our Discord, so that's a good thing as well.
Yeah. Oh, you got
sweet.
the Discord? Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it's in there.
Yes. Okay, so Endigo. This is a controversial one because we don't know if this is the real Endigo, because the real Endigo has a lot of following around it.
Yeah.
So
So Endigo, are you here and or is it you?
this is real. Yes.
Lie to us.
Lie to us, please. We'll investigate later as we have. But
Yes.
it's a finished release. I do drag and do music, and that I think would be good to release. All right. It's Endigo Skyborn. Are you ready?
Yep, let's do it.
Metaverse. 3, 2, 1. So high of a pitch. Interesting breakdown. That's cool.
Yeah.
It's so jarring to know that both vocals came from the same individual.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Like a shine down.
We live in the metaverse.
Oh man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I
Whoa.
don't know if I like the ending there.
That we live in the metaverse.
Yeah,
That's
I
what
don't
it's
know.
about.
I just feel all of the pushing, heavy pushing of like metaverse and like this is robo future.
Yeah.
It just feels kind of cringy.
Well, it's cringy
Just in
because
general. Yeah.
a real metaverse frankly does not exist yet.
Yeah, well, the one that's being made right now sucks ass.
It's not yeah, I
Yeah.
think there's theoretical gaps in what you'd consider a metaverse, but whatever, or it
Yeah.
just sucks. But
Right, yeah. And
yeah,
it's
it
yeah.
does.
I
It
think
feels like a very like sort of pointless like technological endeavor almost.
mhm,
It doesn't really feel like it improves anything,
mhm.
and it feels like it's just there for Facebook to make money.
Yeah, so yeah, who's to say maybe someone comes along that does it way better, but yeah, just I don't know. It's just bad branding on not your guys' part, but the people who have the metaverse, and then you guys who decide to have this vision. Yeah, it just feels. I just can't help but get that feeling when I listen to stuff like that. But yeah, like I think when the rock part came in, it kind of blew me away. I was like, holy
Crazy.
shit,
Yeah.
this sounds really good. I feel like that's probably where you're more comfortable with, if I had to guess, because it just sounded much more and maybe it was supposed to be expressive. It seemed like that was the human part of you coming out, and then the
Yeah.
other one was kind of robotic. And I don't know. I just enjoyed the rock parts much more than the
hmm
na na
Well,
na na na. It
it
was just
was a
like,
really cool, like, I mean, first of all, the other parts, that really high vocal thing was, I mean, it probably was the effect that you were going for to make it sound very artificial and like
mhm,
out there and unique, like something you don't hear often, and it achieved that.
yep,
But it is a little bit, it's in that range of like uncanny valley, and it's
mhm.
it's sort of almost a little annoying. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just so high that it's hard to like you're like trying to make out the words, but it's weird to listen to because it's not no voice can do that. Like,
yeah.
so
Jess says, "I love the major third over in the vocal melody
right.
soaring over the minor." We get it, bro.
And
You know,
your theory,
yeah, you know
but
your
also
theory.
but also that I think that's part of why that rock part is so appealing is because it's a really like refreshing, interesting like melody and harmony
Yeah,
that is so different. Like the style is like flipping a switch from the
mhm,
verses to that chorus, and the harmony is too. So
mhm,
it's like, whoa, we're in like a totally different area, and this is the same song, which
mhm.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a lot to like, I think, too. Yeah, but just yeah, just the overall vibe. First of all, like when I first see something like that says metaverse and we're living in the metaverse, and I'm just like, uh, that's what I feel. Truthfully, but yeah, I think performance wise, though, I think you did pretty good. And to Josh's point, I was gonna say he said Uncanny Valley. Like, yeah, I think maybe you can even push more towards the artificial sound. Not so high pitched though that it becomes like unlistenable, and I think that's where I was kind of going to. But yeah, because I've heard robotic music. There's an artist called Yame or Yami Online, I think something like that. And it's literally like a Vocaloid, and it's like so robotic, but it sounds so nice and sounds so
Mm,
good. Or
yeah,
like Hatsune Miku is a big one, right?
I've heard of that. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think those like sound fantastic, and they're like kind of out of the uncanny valley. They went so far to the computerized version that it sounds good. But yeah, where that vocal setting is now, it's kind of in the uncanny valley where it's just like, this is weird. Maybe that's what you're going for. Um, but yeah. So, overall, what do you have for vibes?
Yeah, it's again, it's very unique. And I think it's cool how you flip between those different styles and vibes. There's just, yeah, there's a lot of uniqueness here, and I think there is a lot of good writing. That's more content, but
Mm-hmm.
um, I liked the opening lines. I thought they were very hard hitting
Mm-hmm.
and clearly sets out like, okay, we're like talking about future shit and like digital stuff. It's like it's interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Like there, I mean, I just didn't like that one choice, I guess, with the vocal being pitched super high up, and uh, the rock section was a little bit more interesting, I think.
Yep,
Um,
I agree.
but yeah, overall vibes, I'd probably say like I don't know, 70% between yellow and green.
Yep.
It is
I,
definitely interesting. It's a unique vibe.
I was thinking 65,
Mhm.
but content
Somehow I knew that.
65,
You synced up on these scores, yeah.
69. No, just kidding. 65.
Yeah.
Um, it is what it is. Hey man, that's the heartfelt score. Content. What do you got?
Um, yeah, for content, I think really cool, interesting writing. That's the main thing. Songwriting's crazy. The performances I think are good too. I'd imagine at this level, you're like hiring some good musicians to play on this and whatnot and produce it, and that definitely shows. Um, but and like some interesting subject matter. A couple of places where it might feel a little bit cringe. Just
Mhm.
like I sort of just don't like the word metaverse anymore. It's kind of been
Facebook ruined it.
tainted. Yeah, it really has kind of been tainted, and I wonder if I'm betting that like probably Apple, maybe Google will come up with a different phrase for it whenever they unleash technologies around it, and it won't be metaverse forever because I don't think they're gonna ever want to reference the word meta in that. And
Mhm.
meta Facebook is not going to be the only player. So, yeah, just get rid of the metaverse word.
Yeah.
That's the main thing with content. But you got anything else?
Yeah. Shout out to Chess Bro. Sorry, we're saying stuff like that, but it's
Oh
true.
yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Metaverse radio, but
that's
yeah,
true.
it's just real, man. I feel like a lot of people feel like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'll say stuff about the visuals a little bit. I think the outfit that you got, the shots, and the effect that's going on, where it's like kind of disintegrates into pixels when you move, and then like sometimes you're even like talking. I think that's really cool.
Mhm.
All of that visually is really cool. It just didn't seem like to go anywhere. That's
Hmm.
like there's a part of like
Story.
the last third of the song where I was just like, this is all the same thing. Like
Yeah,
you know,
I agree.
uh, I'm kind of getting bored of it a little bit. So it would have been nice to see a little bit of progression there. Um, but I think, and it kind of goes with the song a little bit too, especially those higher pitched parts. I felt I was already like not with it in the beginning, and then it was just like very long compared to the rock part, or at least it felt very long. But even with the rock part, it didn't really change up near the end. So I just felt like it kind of went on a little bit too long. Um, but yeah, overall, it's pretty solid, and the songwriting, I think, like Josh said, is very interesting and very, very solid. So, content, I'm at like maybe 75 between green and yellow. What do you got?
Uh, yeah, no, I think I could say the same thing. Again, the writing is a highlight here for sure, and yeah, it's cool.
Mhm. Yeah, they got like a. I think I said it before, but they got like a shine down sound to that rock part. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Just a
yeah,
completely different era of music. It's
definitely.
cool. But
That's cool.
production, what do you got?
Yeah, production is definitely a highlight. I mean, again, I think you've probably
Sounds
got
really
a
good.
good team working on this and
Yeah,
whatnot. It sounds great.
professional.
There, yeah, there's some points where it honestly to me it feels a little bit like it's that tier of like mixing engineers or production that are professional but not necessarily like top of the crop. There's just some parts that sound not as clean as they could. I like the overall sound of the rock verse, but it doesn't quite live up to those big bands that we're mentioning where everything sounds really locked together and really clean and hard hitting. There's a little bit of like, oh, I can hear there's some sort of synth work or some instruments happening underneath this that are really just getting in the way more than they're adding at certain points, and maybe some points where there's a little bit of just a fuzzy feeling, like there's just saturation's been thrown on to sort of be a quick bandage, but maybe like the super detailed attention to detail that you find on those rock bands isn't quite here, which we can't expect. But I think overall it is a nice mix. Everything fits together well.
Mhm,
Just at some points I wished it was a little bit cleaner and like some of the instruments sort of could shine through a little bit more, but it's not a
mhm.
problem.
Yep, I agree with that. I would say production's probably the highest score here. Maybe 93. What about you?
Yeah, I'd
Between
give it
yellow and
a
green.
I think I'd give it like an 88, 89,
88. There you go.
90.
Overall, 90. There it is. All right. Overall, that puts me at like 80,
69.
85,
Oh, um,
69. No, no, no. Whoa, there it is again. It's just crazy how it comes up
it's
natural
just
like that.
so often.
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I
Yeah.
think
I'm
I
at
would
88.
88.
Yeah.
Damn, I think I'm gonna say 84, like
Yep.
1984.
Dude. The metaverse just brings it down. That's what it is. Anyways, Madara music just submitted. Is that Naruto? Hey guys, cool. Just in time because we got one more song.
One more. We have 3 in the queue right now,
Uh-oh.
which means by default it would be Miata.
Just Miata.
Miata, yeah.
We love the boy, and it's a local Joe Groot. Oh, we
And
really
Joe
like
Groot,
this.
yeah. I do want to hear this one, but
Yeah.
if either of you, Alstrom or Madera, want to be reviewed right now today before we end the stream,
Mhm.
you can just send us a tip there, minimum $5, and we'll get you queued up. Otherwise, you'll most likely be next week. So
Yep.
it's really up to you.
Yep. We'll give you guys a little bit of time because we understand some people want feedback and they want it now. So,
Yes.
we
And
are impartial, even if it's our friends. Sorry, Jess.
yeah.
We really
And
want to listen to it though.
And if you do want a tip, then either do
Let
it
us know in
now
the
or
chat.
let us know in the chat. I guess while we're filling that space and you folks are here, just mention one more time that we are building a platform, essentially a web platform to help you get feedback like this, but from other people and get it, year round, 24/7, whenever you need it, that kind of thing. And thanks, Madera. Yeah, you can come back next week and you will be up most likely second. So
Yep.
yeah, thanks for
Thank you
submitting.
for submitting. Yes.
But if you want to get feedback again in the near future from any professionals, use a really easy to use platform that helps you do that and just ultimately help you make music easier and better. Sign up for the beta waitlist. It's right in the chat there, fasttrack.studio. You can just go to that URL and you can sign up for the waitlist, and we'll let you know when we're letting people in as essentially beta users to test out, make things work, make sure things work, give us feedback. And so it'll be a two-way feedback street, I guess you could say, but it should be a fun product to use and helpful for you. So
Oh yeah.
that's
We're working
that.
hard
Sign
on
up for
it.
the beta, yeah, fasttrack.studio. And I guess with that, we'll get into the last one, which is going to be Miata.
Miata. Thank you, Miata. We
Like,
appreciate
is
you.
this like Mazda?
No, it's just well, I don't want
It's
to
a
dox
yeah,
him, but it
yes,
yeah.
surname.
Yeah. It's not like the car.
I know.
He's a half Japanese person myself. I wonder if that's actually doxing as well. But anyways,
Uh,
that's where it's from. But what's up, Miata, Joe Groot? It's here. It's called Someone Myself. It's a work in progress actually on their newer project. Exciting. This is a cute indie pop track arrangement inspired in part by the 1975. I'm trying to make this song sound more like their glitzy yet vintage sounding indie pop stuff. So any tips to that end would be appreciated. Heart.
Sweet.
You ready to smash his dream? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, they were just on SNL like last week, I think.
1975.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the song with the vocal synth stuff, Jess? Let me know. But
Oh,
anyways, I may have already heard this, but I'm excited to hear and excited to hear Josh's ear on it. So you ready?
yeah. Let's do it.
All right, someone myself, Joe Groot, Miata, 3, 2, 1.
Can I say what's on my mind?
Kick really comes through.
Will you think I'm out?
Is this at the mixed level or master level, Josh or Jess? Nice voice.
I've become
Nice bass part.
the reason that she's feeling so numb, and I fear that's because of you. I hated what you did till I did it to someone myself.
Nice space there.
Yeah, I
That's Freddie.
hated what you did till I did it to someone myself. I
What did he
found
do?
it hard to believe, but speeding feels faster in the passenger seat. Yeah, I hated what you did till I did it to someone myself.
That line hits.
Yeah, he's got an awesome voice.
Nice build here. Bring stuff in slowly.
That's not enough for me.
I feel like I want his vocal to be more front.
I
think I want a little bit more brightness out of everything.
You've got something to lose. Now all I do is cut and move. hated what you did till I did it to someone myself. Yeah, I hated what you did till I did it to someone myself. I found it hard to believe that speeding feels faster in the passenger seat. Yeah, I hated what you did till I did it to someone myself. Curse my name, spit it out.
Nice switch up.
Spill your drink on my couch. You'll fall in love. Wait and see.
I want those strings to be higher.
And I'll freak out when he's just like me, like me. Yeah, I hated what you did till
There
I
it is.
did it to someone myself.
Yeah, nice, Moxley. Nice bow. Cool. Nice.
Love it, and love that fade out where you can hear the sort of handling noise a little bit on the guitar. It's sick.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Jess is a somewhat masterful at building this arrangement here. The buildups were cool. When the strings came in, I was like, "That's exactly what I was feeling." Um, although I do have like some maybe like pointers or like not pointers, but like suggestions because I like the where they placed. It's just maybe different timbres would be called for, but yeah, overall that was really cool. Um,
Holy shit!
yeah, that Joe guy, he could sing really
This
well.
is that Joe Groot?
I guess so.
I think it's the same guy I'm thinking of.
Wait, are you looking at a picture right now? Let me see.
No, I'm not.
Okay. Joe Groot. I mean,
Wait.
wait a minute. I'll give you a link. I'll find him on Spotify. He has a picture. Then you could be like, "Oh, is this Joe Groot?"
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Damn.
Yeah. Do you have vibes?
Man, that song like fucking hits, dude. It just it that feels so real, and also like I mean, I like the album art with the just like the chilling on the couch with a guitar and a cat. That also feels like
Oh,
very super real,
That's
and
just Jess's
that I know that's what I figured,
profile picture.
but it does go with it too, though, even if people don't know that. But yeah, no, just the writing is awesome. Oh, you sent the Spotify link there.
Yep.
Uh, the
I just put it in
writing's
the chat if you
great.
guys want to see it too. But yeah, let me know if that's the same Joe Groot.
Wait, maybe.
Doesn't
Yeah,
look like it.
no, I think it is. He just
All
looks
right.
different. He looks different in his like professional picture there.
Okay, he
But
got glowed up a little bit.
yeah, it's funny, dude. Holy shit.
What about the Head Under Heels? If you scroll down, that EP is
Yeah,
that look
that
like?
one. I'm like, oh yeah, well that I recognize him from that more.
Got it. Okay.
Wow, man, I
Very
had no idea. Talented guy.
Yeah,
But
man.
I mean, you're both talented, obviously. But
Yeah.
fuck, yeah, just like really great writing and great vocals. The playing is awesome too. Uh, I think the one thing that I was sort of wanting until the end, that part where all the strings come in, like I think I like the level of where the bass and the kick are at. I do feel like everything is could use a little bit more edge, just a
Mhm.
little bit, and that's mostly like in the high end and in the high mids,
Yep.
like just a little bit more texture. I think with the bass and the kick, they feel very solid, but again, I feel like there's a high frequency roll off on a lot of stuff. Like the edges aren't there. It doesn't have to be like sharp or super bright or anything like that, but just a little bit of that rough texture. Again, this might be a great place for a little bit of saturation, which we often hear like too much of, but here it's like it's maybe a little bit too plain, just slightly. And I
Mhm.
know that that's like the style you want it to feel plain enough and not overproduced, but adding a little bit of high end or a little bit of saturation can make stuff feel more detailed, right?
Mhm.
Like I'm listening to it up close and it's really intimate. If stuff is not bright enough, it can feel like it's under a blanket a little bit, and like there's something separating me from the instrumentation or whatever, and me. um, so that's sort of mixing stuff, but I mean, just sticking with vibes, like this is a vibe. This is like a super real song. I love the simplicity, all the points there are for the stuff to just breathe, right? There'll be a line and then there'll be a long pause. Like, oh, man, it's so refreshing to hear that kind of stuff because like people have trouble having the restraint to do that.
Mhm.
Like that makes it a great writer a lot of the time. So that's awesome to hear. But yeah, what do you have on vibes?
I had difficulties making the synths full while allowing the snare to cut through the mix. Sorry. I didn't even
Yeah.
know there was synths. Interesting.
Uh, do you mean so were those strings at the end or were those synths? Because it's sort of, and that's maybe a mixing area we can dive into. But at the end, are those strings or synths that you're referring to?
Right, yeah, or yeah, were they
Or do you
throughout
mean
the
synths
song?
throughout? Yeah, because I
I
didn't
didn't hear shit,
hear
and
a
if
lot of
they
that.
are there, you don't need them, in my opinion. But
Maybe, or you might need more of it because I don't know. Like I was
mm,
feeling like until the end, um, it was like bass and kick and the vocal in the center, and then there were like the guitars and some other stuff. But it sort of felt like those middle elements were all like stacked sort of in the middle, and
mhm,
then there was like a rut on either side. Like there was like missing not enough happening on the sides surrounding the vocal. It sort of felt like the vocal was alone a little bit, even though
mhm,
there were other things happening, and it's probably just a volume level thing.
yeah,
But then when the or the strings came in,
mhm,
yeah, you meant strings, not specifically synths. Yeah, when those came in, it really felt like it filled out, and that was how it was supposed to be, almost like through the whole song. And I know you want to reserve that moment for the end, um,
mhm,
but just like something, maybe a more subtle version of that, or something synthwise, or just
mhm.
leveling up the guitars or other instruments to fill
That's what
that side space more.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, like,
Yeah.
to go to my vibes, right? In the beginning, I literally like, I know he vocally doesn't sound like this, but the instrumental made me think of, Johnny Cash. What is it? Uh, "And I won't back down." What's that song?
Oh, man.
"Stand my ground." You know that song?
Yeah, I think so,
It
yeah.
re it reminds me of that so hard, and I thought it was cool,
Hmm,
and, like, Johnny Cash, I feel like or the song "Hurt," for example, where it's
yeah.
just acoustic guitar and him, like, I think you could boost
Th
that acoustic
that
guitar.
intimate, yeah, acoustic
Yeah,
vibe. It almost
get some
like
grittiness to it.
again, it's not exactly a match, but like this sort of intimate style where you've got like a mix of really close sounding, like authentic acoustic guitars and like some sprinkling in of like SFX and like strings, almost like a Lizzie McAlpine vibe a little bit,
Mm,
where it's kind of that like intimate, like singer songwriter vibe. It's very real. It's very like heartfelt lyrics. There's a lot of space to breathe.
mhm,
Um, yeah, it's kind of like that too, but.
mhm,
I guess my critique on the strings or synth or whatever you're calling it at the end there, I like them a lot. I like the vibe. They sound like they're sort of like
high
blending
roll off.
together a little bit too much.
Yeah,
Maybe high roll off, but I think it's more a symptom of like I don't know if there's like a reverb tail that's like
mhm,
washing across everything and sort of smearing the transients
yeah,
to where and also creating a little bit of dissonance even where like
yeah,
it sounds like some of that the notes are being brought over into the next bar
yeah,
and some points is a little dissonant
yeah.
or I don't know, maybe it's the tonality of the strings are just not
There's,
like
like, no
defined
attack,
enough.
really.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like amorphous sort
Yeah.
of. um I like it being there. It's just I want more of that texture again, like of
Yep,
this being able to hear the string texture because
yep.
that adds drama too.
That's what I wanted, like, that's what I was gonna say, like, from the get-go when I was like, "Oh, yeah, I like it there," but I want it to be more textured, and I wanna hear the actual strings, I want it to be intimate like the guitar was, you know?
Yeah,
Like, I
yeah.
wanna hear that, like, airiness in the strings that you
Yeah,
get, you
it's
know?
that airiness that helps a lot, I think, and that's part of the why you need more of the high end, I think, in a lot of the mix.
I really want to get real strings on it, but that's probably a pipe dream. Bruh, I'm gonna say
Maybe.
Noah Gruenberg, bruh. Noah Gruenberg from, HHC. Shout out to him. Electronic strings, we got the connections. Ask Rudolph. I'm sure that he would love to record it for you guys for free. He'll probably host it at his house. Um,
Damn, that'd be fun.
Also, there are plugins out there. They do cost a little bit of money.
Like Spitfire
Um, Spitfire is one that I was thinking of, or Contact.
or like Native Instruments has a bunch of stuff like that.
Right, right. So don't give up hope. My opinion of Logic orchestral strings sound pretty decent too. At least they have more edge than what I'm hearing there.
No, he is using Spitfire.
It's Spitfire. Well,
Could be the preset or something, or
yeah. If
something
there's
about
any sort of knobs, like if you can increase or make the attack faster,
maybe, yeah.
yeah, anything of
It's
that. But
tough. And some of it is like with strings, you do need to have the right arrangement and string part. Like, I mean, it's people's whole career to write string parts that work well in songs like this. I almost wonder. You probably don't want to do it for this, but like most artists, they find somebody who creates string parts for these kind of songs, and they just hire them to do it. And it depends like what level of quality you go for. It probably would cost too much, but that's the dream. Wouldn't it be great if you could hire somebody who's great at making string parts to record actual strings on your track and make it sound like magical?
dude, I'm telling you, if you have any, uh, like if you want to message anybody, message Noah. He's such a down person for anything kind of guy. Like you could probably like send him the track, and be like, hey, I'm really wanting to like strings here, like, and I'd love to give you credit. You could discuss that kind of stuff, that end of it. Yeah, and you just bring like your laptop and audio interface to his place, or if he comes to your place, vice versa. I'm sure he'd love to collaborate. That's what he did with the Hideout album. Like
Hmm,
he came over here and he blasted some electronic strings on it, and it sounded epic. It was crazy. It was just a one man show. So
nice.
yeah, use those connections, not lose. Funny, but anyways, we're all over the place here. This is at vibes. What do you got for vibe score?
um, yeah, I think Vibe score. I'm just giving this like a 95%. Man,
Yeah,
it's great.
yeah. I'm at 90. Yeah, I think the songwriting's fantastic. I think the arrangement's fantastic. It's just a little bit of execution here on the mixing, and the timbre of the instruments. But yeah, I wish I listened to the lyrics more, because I really love that chorus, but I just didn't get exactly what he did that was so bad or used to be bad. Like, yeah, maybe we can get more into that into content. It's a segue.
Maybe,
Um,
yeah, yeah.
like,
You
I
want to?
think that chorus is awesome, um, and it makes you think, scratch your head a little bit, and then you're like, "Oh, okay, I get it." Um, but I just wish throughout the verses that I was told more of the story, and maybe I just missed it because I was talking and shit. But yeah, that's the feeling that I'm left with. But
Yeah.
that being said, in general, the things that I did listen to, the writing was pretty damn good. Um, Playing, I thought was pretty fantastic. There's a part where the acoustic almost does like a like kind of part. It's like a switch up. Um, I don't know if you did that or Joe, because I know both you guys play acoustic, but uh, it, maybe it just felt a little bit messier on the performance wise. So maybe you might want to re-record it. I'm not sure. It might be like a preference thing, because I've said this type of thing to Josh before in the past. If you recall the what's that guy's name that always comes? That very unique artsy guy, Dom Rocks.
Dom rocks
Yeah, it's a similar thing to that kind of that I'm hearing, where there's a lot of um, what is it, finger or fret noise or
on
something.
the acoustic guitar.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, I
it's just
personally thought
during.
that it's supposed to be like that, but
There you
yeah.
go. See, so it might just be a preferential thing, and you guys are guitarists, but as a non-guitarist, actually, funnily enough, in our band, I'm the only one that can't play guitar. That's what I was like. Oh,
A lot
okay.
of bands are like that.
Yeah,
That's
it's
funny.
kind of crazy. Like including Jess, like he plays guitar and lays down some licks in that song. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Strings, we talked about it already, but I love the placement of them.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I like this a lot. He's a fantastic singer.
Is this
It's like I was getting the Johnny Cash vibe in the beginning, but when he started singing and stuff, it's more like John Mayer. So
mhm.
that's the kind of shit that I'm feeling. I think it's fantastic. So and I like your vision, Jess, of the arrangement. So I'm gonna be maybe at this point 87 between green and yellow for content. What about you?
Oh, for content?
Yep.
By the way, is this Jess that's friends with Max?
Yes, he's roommates.
That's what I thought. Okay, dope.
Mhm.
Tell him I say hi. Um, but yeah, I think like you said, what was the part that you mentioned about content with
The guitar.
no, something before that, I think.
The chorus. I like the chorus, but I feel like the verses aren't really telling me what he's talking
Oh,
about.
yeah, like about that. I mean, maybe it's the kind of thing where like by the repetition of that line, you're sort of like making the user guess, or not the user, the
Fill in the
listener,
blanks. Yeah.
like fill in the blanks and sort of guess, and that's sort of cool because it's like it sort of allows them to put their own situation into it.
Sounds like copium to me, but yeah, I was thinking that too as you were explaining it.
I don't
But
know. I think that's a real technique though that people use
no,
because
yeah, the copium was more of a joke, but like,
yeah.
yeah.
No, if you make it too specific, it might people might be like, "Oh, like I can't relate to that exactly."
Mhm.
Or, having some mystery can be good sometimes too, but uh I do agree. I think that line happened enough times that it sort of was like, "Okay, but we keep hearing this, but like what is it?"
Mhm.
Versus if it's a little more subtle, but I don't know. I think that's a really really small detail. Again,
The line
songwriting's
by
like
itself is fantastic, yeah.
yeah, I think the songwriting's awesome. I think the playing is great. It's really just like I did like how you built it up slowly and added parts into it. I sort of wished that a little earlier the sides felt again a little bit more filled out. I don't know if you need to add any parts or anything like that, but just like it feels like the stuff in the middle, including the vocals, on like a pedestal. It's very present, and then we're missing a little bit on the sides. Or I can hear that there's instrumentation there, but it feels like the volume's too low or something like that. Maybe it needs some sort of stereo processing or widening or some sort of reverb or delay or something that's just gonna like help fill out that outer space a little bit more and add that ambience there. And then maybe the string part, like I guess what I was sort of going on about earlier with the strings is if you turn down the like legato-ness too much or whatever you want to call it, it might then not sound ambient enough. It might be a matter of sort of interweaving different like ranges of the strings or whatever, uh, or just creating some sort of counterpoint like melody within that so that it swims around a little bit without having to rely on the notes all being drawn out, sort of moving all together. That's just like maybe a general way to approach that issue, or you might find that it's solved by just tweaking some settings in Spitfire and trying to increase the detail, maybe like again adding a little bit of saturation or something, or a different using a different reverb on those strings that um yeah, there's some
There's a
counterpoint
counterpoint
melody that
melody,
got buried,
I
yeah.
did not hear it.
So that doesn't really surprise me, but we couldn't hear it, I think, because it just sounds a little bit amorphous and like
Mhm.
it's all blobbing together right now. So I don't know if that's because of a reverb. Maybe there's a reverb that's in the plugin that's doing some of that, or again, the notes are too drawn out. Or maybe it's the number of parts you have, or how close the notes are together, and the frequency range. It's hard to assess that from what we can hear. So I'm sure you can experiment with stuff and find that out for yourself. But for content, did you give a score for content?
Yeah, I think I put 88, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm honestly gonna say like 95 again, I think for content because the
Sheesh.
content's is a strong point of this.
That's true. Yeah, I feel that. I felt, yeah, like the lyrics thing. It's like I'm going back and forth because I did find myself being like, "Oh, I really like that." Like, what does that make me think about? Like, oh, there's like a self growth kind of aspect. I just
Mhm.
don't. Yeah, I don't know. I would say 90, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's good. It's a good bar. Chris, put away your pale ass legs. I'll do whatever the fuck I want, bruh.
Oh
All
my
right.
god.
Anyways, you're continuing.
This stream is no longer safe for work. Um,
Yeah, it looks like I have no pants on.
it does. Like, what the fuck? Nobody knew the whole time Chris was never wearing pants.
That's right, boys. Bring them out. Bring them out.
God.
Anyways,
Right.
who let the dogs out? Am I right? But anyways, production. What do you got? We gotta
Um,
get out of here. We're not getting paid over here. What the fuck? It was
that's true.
overtime, bruh.
That's true. Yeah, production. I think I already mentioned the sort of areas for possible improvement, but it really is nice that there's space, and I think working with space is like probably your ultimate focus here. It's like the contrast between having very like detailed parts and detailed sounding instrumentation, so it's all EQ'd to have that high end detail and feel really intimate and close up. It's that contrasted with the space that makes this kind of thing feel really magical and like makes you want to keep listening. So I would just keep that in mind and keep working on it from the stuff that we talked about. But this could be like amazing. I
Yeah.
think if it's produced to the fullest extent that it can be, and it's like totally on the way. It's pretty close, I would say. But there's
Hmm.
a couple of things that we mentioned that could really bring it up a lot, I think.
Yep.
So
I agree. Yeah. I think just make that more detailed, more intimate. Uh, like Josh said, put a little saturation on it. But yeah, I think it's cool. Production right now at this point, maybe it's like an 80, solid 80, but
mhm.
has room to grow for sure.
Yeah, I think I could agree with that actually.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, it's great, but there's some room to grow on the production side.
Overall, I feel like this has potential to like be like purplish. Like
Yeah,
I think that like when he belts it at the end, I was like, this guy is awesome. And
man.
like the strings like that you put in, Jess, I was exactly feeling that. And in the beginning, if you get it even more intimate with the guitars and that Johnny Cash kind of walking around on a lonely road type vibe. Ah, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
if
cool.
yeah, I was gonna say like if you do get this, if you address any of this stuff or you get it fully mixed and mastered out, and you really feel like it's like ready to go, um, I would advise you to submit it again to us so that because I want to hear like where it goes from here. I just want to hear it again.
Yep.
And potentially it could be top tier track material, which for those who don't know is
Meh,
um,
meh, meh,
our
rare.
highest rating. We haven't had one in a little bit because
No.
it's hard to achieve. But if your track is really like amazing, like basically almost perfect, or like meets our standards of like we
Yeah,
think
and it's got
all
that it factor.
it's that it
Yeah.
factor, yeah, which this has the it factor. It's just like it needs to be delivered 100% to its fullest extent,
Yep.
um, with the stuff that around it. But yeah, we will add you to our playlist, our top tier track playlist, and feature you on our Instagram and all that stuff. So that's the incentive there. But
Do it.
track total, yeah, I think it's great. I'm really excited to hear if you do make changes to it and when this gets posted publicly and all that.
Yep.
I think. Do you have a score in mind?
93 at
Um,
this point.
yeah, I think I'm just gonna say 95.
Yep.
It's awesome. This is a great
Yeah.
track.
Yep. I think 93 with some purple upside. So,
Yeah, little purple tinge.
yeah. Do it, guys. Do it. We believe in you.
Do it. Make it happen.
Do it now. All right. We're not paying out of here. What the hell? This is all for free. What is this
Yes.
overtime?
Yeah. Well,
But
anyways, thank
good
you
stuff.
everyone. Yeah, we really appreciate the submissions. There were some great ones today.
There
It's
were.
always awesome to hear, new genres stuff. We heard a couple of those that we haven't really gotten before.
Mhm.
Um, and people returning, lots of that, and
Mhm.
just everyone working on their craft and like stuff that they think is meaningful or that is expressive, and getting it out there and fighting the fight to make it the best it can be for audiences and trying to get it to them, because that's the hardest part. So
Mhm.
um yeah, thanks again everyone for submitting. We'll be back next week. We're here every Friday from 5:30 to 7:30 Central Time.
Ye-
And follow us on Twitch, or yeah, is it
Lol.
follow? Yeah,
Yeah.
follow us on Twitch to find out when we go live again, so you get notified. Follow us on Instagram. That's top right corner there of the overlay, FastTrack_music. That's our little home base. You can get in touch with us there, or join the Discord, which should be in the chat. In the chat, if Chris has a button for that, do you have a button
Oh,
for that?
no, I don't. My bad. And I think I keep pointing at the wrong spot.
You're pointing all the way over there, man. He's like
Fuck.
way out there.
Okay, you got the Discord? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Discord's there. Join that again. We've got a question in the announcements channel that we're very curious to hear from you on, and you want to put the beta link in there.
Boom, boy, I got
Um,
a button for that.
yes, we are working hard to get the beta of our feedback giving platform out there to help you get feedback from others that are not just us, potentially people more knowledgeable, and to figure out how you can make the best music possible, and create a fan base and make stuff you're really proud of. So there will be much to come on that front. If you want to be one of the very first users ever in the platform to help us beta test and see what it's all about and benefit from it, join there, fasttrack.studio. You can sign up and we'll let you know when you're let in from the waitlist. So yeah, that's today's show, I believe.
That's all, folks.
Any last words, sir?
No, that's all I got.
Dope. All right. Well, thanks again, everyone. We'll see you next week, and have a great weekend. Peace.